Hello and welcome, or should I say hey or välkommen to Malmö Central Station. Today we're taking a first-class sleeper cabin on SJ's night train from Malmö to Stockholm. We'll explore the cabin, test the amenities including a shower and a tiny onboard bathroom, and see whether this $240 overnight train lives up to the hype, so grab your bags and let's get started. Our journey begins here in Malmö at Malmö Central Station. Built in 1856, the now 168-year-old hub sees a mix of service between commuter, intercity, long-distance, and high-speed trains connecting Malmö to Sweden and Denmark. Malmö Central features a modern glass arrivals hall built in 2010 that shifted passenger-heavy functions away from the old station building to the now open space. The historic parts of the station were then repurposed for services and shops along the concourse. The station here also includes an SJ lounge, though unfortunately it's already closed for the day, so we won't be able to check it out with our sleeper ticket. With about an hour to spare before our scheduled departure and no lounge to relax in, why don't we pass the time by taking a look at our route up to Stockholm. We'll start out heading northeast out of Malmö to Lund before turning northwest to follow the E6 highway to Helsingborg. The tracks then head inland to Stockholm, turning once again to head north through central Sweden. We stop at Alvesta and Nässjö through the wee hours of the morning, Linköping and Norrköping coming in quick succession around 4 AM. It's an uninterrupted run north from then on, our train arriving at Stockholm Central at the end of the line. We'll cover a little over 385 miles on our ride today, with a travel time of 7 hours and 36 minutes. As we wait for our night train to arrive, one of SJ's X2000 high-speed trains pulls in. Rated for a top speed of 125 miles per hour while tilting up to 6.5 degrees, the X2000 is SJ's flagship high-speed train, connecting Malmö to Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Copenhagen. From beyond the platforms appear two red lights, which as they approach reveal themselves to be the end of our train backing into the station. And here it is, SJ Nattag Train 2 bound for Stockholm, hauled by a Swedish RC6 locomotive number 1406. Although we're not scheduled to depart for another 45 minutes, SJ allows passengers to begin boarding around 45 minutes prior to departure to give time to settle in and get to sleep before the train sets off. We'll be staying in one of SJ's first-class cabins in car 14, one of SJ's WL4 sleeping cars. And here's our private compartment. Although the sign on the door says berths 28 and 30, solo passengers booking first class reserve the whole room. Now let's take a look around our first class cabin. There's a lot packed into this small space, so I'll break it down for you. First class cars are air conditioned, with each cabin including an ensuite bathroom and shower. As is the case with many European sleeper trains, each cabin is secured using an automatic lock and key card. The lower bunk of our cabin doubles as seating during the day, with two seatbacks that fold away to convert into a bed. Each cabin also includes a second upper bunk, which is easily accessed with a ladder and provides a cozy sleeping space, complete with its own bedding. There's plenty of room to stretch out, making it perfect for solo travelers or pairs looking for extra comfort. First-class cabins offer surprisingly good storage for such a compact space. There are hangers for your clothes, coat hooks for outerwear, and even a small cubby by the window for your personal items. Plus, above the door you'll find additional storage space for small bags and backpacks. There's also a flip-down leg rest for added relaxation when you're seated. For those who love control over the environment, the cabin comes with air conditioning controls, though be aware the air conditioning is a bit weak, so you may find yourself needing to crack the window open for better airflow. There are 2 power outlets in our first class cabin, perfect for charging your devices, but they are placed very high on the walls, so you'll need long cables or a creative way to manage your charging needs. And for those who like to read, there are reading lights by both the lower and upper bunks, giving you a personal light source for late night reading or browsing without disturbing your cabin mate. But the best part of our first class cabin? The ensuite bathroom. It's tiny, about the size of an airplane lavatory, but it's got a toilet, sink, and even a shower. We'll test it out later to see if it's as functional as it looks. Overall, the first class cabin provides a great balance of comfort, privacy, and convenience, making it a solid choice for anyone looking to travel in style on an overnight train. Now, for passengers looking to save a bit on sleeper accommodations, there are 2 other service classes to look at: second class cabins and couchettes. Second class cabins include 3 bunks per room and an ensuite vanity, but no bathroom. Instead, communal bathrooms and showers are found at the ends of each car. Couchettes are the classic low-cost sleeper accommodation on European night trains with 6 berths per room. The couchettes are very thin and lackluster, but it's a bed to sleep on, and that's often all you need. Of course, if you really want to save as much as possible, then the seated coaches are for you. The seated cars are operated in a 2x2 and offer slightly improved legroom over traditional coaches for improved overnight comfort. It's worth noting that there's no food service of any kind on board night trains between Stockholm and Malmö. Seeing as this is a shorter journey which departs late and arrives early, there's next to no need for SJ to include a cafe car or trolley service on board. That being said, our first class sleeper ticket does include breakfast, which begs the question, where will we eat with no cafe on board? We'll come back to that question later, but for now, it's back to our cabin. The greatest amenity of first class cabins are their private bathrooms. It's a very small facility with a toilet, sink, and shower jammed into the size of an airplane bathroom. The sink works with plenty of soap, towels, 4 boxes of water for drinking, and a hairdryer which doesn't work. The shower, however, does, a plastic curtain wrapping around the sink to keep the water contained. Departure from Malmö is right on time at 10:17 p.m. The sliding windows in the hallway providing a great vantage point to watch as we begin our journey north. As much fun as it is to enjoy the open air, the cold wind is getting to me, as is my need for sleep, which means it's time to head to bed. And with that, it's lights out. We awake the next morning bright and early. Well, I say bright, but we're traveling in Sweden in late September, which means it's only just twilight as we wake up. It's about 5:20 a.m. and our train is just 20 minutes out from our arrival in Stockholm. Taking up residence at the window once again, we pass through the quiet platforms of Stockholm Södra. We emerge into the morning twilight as we cross Gamla stan. Our train slows as we reach the mainland once again, pulling to a stop at Stockholm Central. While we may be wide awake by this point, passengers traveling to the terminus station of night trains may ask to remain on board later than the scheduled arrival time to allow for more sleep or time to get ready before disembarking. Grabbing our bags from our cabin, we head down the car and out into Stockholm. So does first class on Sweden's night train live up to the hype? For me, absolutely. The private cabin, the convenience of an onboard shower, and the included breakfast make it a comfortable and worthwhile experience, especially when compared to a hotel and day train combo. If you're looking to travel in style overnight, SJ's Nattag is hard to beat. Well, I say included breakfast is part of what makes this such a great journey, but we haven't even found it yet, which brings us back to our earlier question, where will we eat? With no cafe on our train, there's no opportunity to dine on board, so first-class passengers are allowed to dine at any of the listed hotels or restaurants upon arrival. The two options for passengers arriving in Stockholm are either the Scandic Continental Hotel or the Ritasa Centralen. Seeing as the latter is just a cafe, I chose to head over to the Scandic Continental just across the street from Stockholm Central. The breakfast selection at the Scandic Continental is extensive and delicious. There's pastries, fresh fruits and vegetables, all kinds of breads, meats and cheeses, and plenty of hot items for the taking. I loaded up on a mix of everything, and of course I had to grab a classic cup of coffee and a glass of orange juice. I will say I think this is one of the nicest sleeper train breakfasts I've ever had, though it's hard to compare it to anything else as we're not even on the train anymore. Either or, it's a great amenity to include, especially when arriving in Stockholm so early in the morning. With breakfast enjoyed and journey complete, it's time to bring today's video to a close. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and members. Y'all are amazing and your incredible generosity is always greatly appreciated. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.